All right, everybody, so let's get to it. Number 10 on the list is what the... I know, right? Well, I don't know what else to call it, but I think Tom calls it yikes. But here's the bottom line. The bottom line is that we are trying to interrupt the pattern. We get so much mail, we get so many postcards, and you've got to have something that stops people in their tracks and gets them to pay attention. And that's the what the. So, what the is a video, this is a postcard, this is some kind of a letter, and then we're just saying, hey, have you had any thoughts of selling? And I wrote down a little script here. Again, it's in the PDF, so if you're interested in the PDF, make sure that you direct message me listings, and I'm happy to send you the download. But it's, hey, it's Todd Conklin with Coldwell Banker Distinctive Properties, and I'm working with 16 qualified buyers, some of which are looking to buy in your neighborhood. I'm sure you're aware what's happened to the home values. Please text me at 123-456. You get the point, right? If you've had any thoughts of selling. That's the what the campaign. All right, TV and radio ads. Listen, folks, given what's going on, TV, radio, it's kind of on sale, like super discount. So what a great way to get yourself out there. And if you're part of Coldwell Banker Distinctive Properties, you already know this, and that is you have a 16% price premium over the average real estate agent. That's right. So your ad could simply be, we have a 16% price premium over the average agent. If you are interested in selling your property and you're interested in getting 16% more than the average, please reach out. 123-456. You can also use your Google reviews once you get those done, right? I've got 30 Google reviews. If you've had any thoughts of selling in 2020, 2021, please reach out to me. Here's my phone number. So, number 11, TV and radio. Number 12 is target your ads, right? Target your ads. And we're going to go over Facebook here in just a minute, but this is what I'm really talking about here is the YouTube targeting. We've all seen where we click on a video and that first 5 or 6 seconds becomes an advertisement, right? That's what I'm talking about. And folks, they're really not that hard. You can do it based on past behavior. Now, if you are the kind of person that's going to geek out on these kinds of things and execute on your own, bravo. If, however, you're one of those people that need some help, you can certainly reach out to us. We have an entire marketing department that does this for our agents, or you can reach out to an ad agency and they can very easily do that for you. But either way, what a really great, easy way and very effective way to market for listings. And same messaging that applied in the TV and radio ads would apply there. So number 12, target your ads. Number 13, what the? But this time we're talking about phone calls, and so I want to kind of walk through with you on this. So what I'm really talking about here is the, like I can do a video. So if I want to target some people within a particular zip code, that I do have that ability, obviously in social media. I also have that ability through YouTube. It's called geo-targeting. I can also do slide dial. So if I've gotten the numbers, and folks, there's all kinds of resources out there. Cole Realty resource, phone book, RedX. Like there's so many different resources where you can plug in the addresses and they will give you phone numbers of those properties owners, and then you use slide dial and you simply say, hey, it's Todd with Coldwell Banker Distinctive Properties. I'm sure you've been receiving my mail. I've got several qualified buyers that are looking to buy specifically in this neighborhood. I'm just wondering, have you had any thoughts of selling? Do you know anybody that might be considering selling? Would you please call me or text me at blah, 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 blah. All right, very, very easy, but it's a, right? Change the pattern. The expired and for sale by owner trifecta. This is mail, email, and phone calls. Mail, email, and phone calls. Listen, folks, I'm going to start with the for sale by owners just really quickly. The for sale by owners, in order for you to be doing a for sale by owner, you're doing it for a very specific reason, and that is you either don't like real estate agents, which okay, all right? Or you think that you're going to get more money. And listen, the bottom line is it just comes down to an education component. And if you're avoiding calling for sale by owners, you're missing the boat. These are people that are raising their hand and saying, I'm interested in selling. Most of the time they're interested in selling and they just want more money and they think they can save it. So if I give them the National Association of Realtors stats that shows that on average real estate agents get 19% more for the properties, that the average sales price is actually 31% higher, the education will get those for sale by owners to better understand that it's not about the money. Then you kind of get into the, hey, listen, are you marketing? Did you know? Yes, I understand that 93% of the people started online, but remember 89% of them used a real estate agent. What that tells us is that our syndication is great, but ultimately they go back to the real estate agent. The real estate agent and the syndication, for that matter, is all happening through the MLS. So as a result of doing it for sale by owner, you're missing the boat. Despite the fact that Zillow and for sale by owner and all those things are trying to tell them differently, they're just not telling the whole truth, right? So it's just an education thing. By the way, those sites that I just mentioned are great resources for you to be able to target for sale by owners, right? Because if they've listed Make Me Move or for sale by owner, making the phone call to them becomes very, very easy, all right? And listen, don't be afraid to knock on doors. All right, let's talk about expireds here for a second. One of our agents, I'm not going to say his name, but just because I haven't gotten authorization from him, but he basically has decided he's going to target certain agents that are top of the top with an expired campaign. And the reason is, hey, listen, if somebody has an expired listing, two things are for certain. Number one, they are sellers. They have decided that they want to sell. And number two, they're probably not very happy about the outcome because they didn't list their property just to list it. They listed it so they could sell it. So you have a great opportunity for you to say, hey, listen, can I share with you what I would do to sell your property to get the greatest exposure so that we can sell it for the most in the least amount of time? And if you are using our case studies, where we have countless case studies where we chronicle, if you will, properties that have been listed by one or more agents for a significant period of time. Our agents then took those listings, executed on an aggressive marketing and advertising campaign, and sold the property quick. Those case studies are game changers for expireds and listing appointments. So that's number 14. The idea here is that you're sending these, you are making phone calls to these, and you are sending out emails giving the education and the case studies so that they better understand what it is that you're going to do differently. All right, number 15 on my list is the 30-day action competition. Here's the funny thing about this. You can do this against yourself, right? So figure out what you've done last month and then see if you can't one-up yourself. You can also find another agent, whether it be an agent in your office or an agent within your organization in a different office. Competition, it just gets our juices flowing, doesn't it? And so there's you got to have two pieces to this, right? You've got to have something that's tied to the leading indicators, which are the actions, right? This is the prospecting as an example. And then you do something that's tied to the lagging indicators, which would be like how many listings did I take or how many sales did I have. So make sure you have competition tied to both and make sure you scoreboard it. So it's really simple, right? Especially if you're going to do it with another agent. You just simply create a Google spreadsheet and you put in the 3 actions that you're going to track and the 2 outcomes that you're going to track, and every single day at 5 o'clock, bam, you plug in your stuff and that's your scoreboard, and now you've got a great competition. It will make a difference in your business. Just saying. All right, number 16, be a beast with your schedule. I'm going to offer, listen, I got a PDF. It's called Being a Beast with Your Morning Routine. So direct message me Beast and I'll send you that PDF. But here's the thing. If you will create space for the different things in your business, and you will say yes only to those things, and you will say no to the things that are not on your schedule, you are going to be more productive. So just imagine for a second, and let's just do it for 1 week. What if you, at 8 o'clock in the morning, you decided that I'm going to role play? Whether it be role playing on my phone, video myself, whether I role play in front of the mirror, whether I role play with another agent, or my spouse, but for 30 minutes, I'm going to role play all of the conversations that I plan on having today. From 8 to 8:30. And then 8:30, I'm going to start calling for sale by owners. For 1 hour, I'm going to call for sale by owners, and I can make some, let's make some expired calls too. And then from 9:30 to 10:30, I'm going to call all of my leads. Let's just call all of my hot leads, all right? For 1 hour, I'm just going to incessantly call all of my hot leads. And then from 10:30 to 12, all I'm going to do is call my database. I'm just talking about 4 specific hours committed to preparing and executing on prospecting. What do you think would happen to your business? Well, it would be more business than you would know what to do with. And so owning your schedule and being that beast with your time will make all the difference. All right, number 18, 2 questions. Did I skip 17? Number 17, let's map it. All right, so here, there's 2 different ways of mapping it. Number 1 are going to be the offices that you have. If you're part of our organization, obviously you've got offices throughout the Rocky Mountains, but if you're part of the brand, right, you can use the entire brand. A lot of people don't think about the fact that you have offices in all of these different places, and it works really, really well with your agent referral network. So, by mapping all of your offices on a big, United States map, for example, and you drop pins all over the place and say, hey, I have offices in all of these locations. If you are looking for an agent in another town, please reach out to me. I'd love to make an introduction, right? Really easy strategy. Love, love, love that one. The other mapping it is for a neighborhood. And so there's a couple of tricks here, right? What we're talking about here are properties that you have sold. If you're new to the business, or if you're just breaking into a new geographic farm, then use your company's success, and the messaging is just we instead of I. Instead of I have sold all these properties in this neighborhood, it's we have represented buyers and sellers in all of these properties, right? We're experts in the neighborhood. If you've had any thoughts of selling, please reach out to me, right? So that's number 17. Number 18, 2 questions. This is just 2 questions, and honestly, I don't really care how you do it. You can do it via email, you can do it via phone, you can do it via text message, and you can most definitely do it via social media. It's just a little bit more intentional, right? So what I'm looking for here is for you to do a message, not just a post or a poll, right? This is a direct message, private message, text message, direct an email, that kind of thing. And here are the questions. Are you planning on selling this year or next? That's it. Are you planning on selling? And number 2, have you had any thoughts of selling during these peak prices, right? So 2 questions, that's number 18. We're cooking, are we? Here we go. We're on our way to 29. 19 live on Instagram and Facebook. All right, so let's talk a little bit about tactics, okay? I love the idea of going live on Facebook and Instagram, and I know there's some of you are just like, oh! All right, listen, I'm gonna make this really, really simple. We're gonna come up with our script. It's gonna be a real simple script. Everybody already knows what you look like. Everybody already knows what you sound like. You don't need to worry about that. We're just gonna focus in on the script. You wanna start in front of a sold sign, folks, right? Boom. You're for sale with a big sold on it. That's the whole point, okay? And here's the script. I have a problem. I sold this property in this neighborhood. I have a bunch of well-qualified buyers that missed out. I need to find another property for these buyers. Have you had any thoughts of selling? Does that sound familiar? I hope it's starting to. All right, number 20 on my list is these trusted advisors. I'm talking about CPAs, trust attorneys, divorce attorneys. These are people who are helping folks through some pretty important topics, yes? And so making sure that you create an interaction, a database, building the list. So I'm going to go through this, right? So number 1, you want to create a list of all of the advisors in your marketplace. Number 2, you want to enter all of them into your CRM. This is your database, right? And number 3, you want to connect with all of them on LinkedIn. These are not Facebook and Instagram folks, people, folks. We want to connect with them in the space that we are trying to serve and be served in. So that's the business forum. Make sure it's on LinkedIn. Then I want you to call them and make the introduction. hi, I'm Todd Conklin. I'm with Coldwell Banker Distinctive Properties. I serve these communities. I'm a professional, blah, 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 right? If you have stories and case studies, marvelous. Otherwise, use the case studies that you've built as part of, hey, listen, as an example, so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so had this property listed for X period of time. I took it, I executed on an aggressive marketing strategy, and I was able to sell the property in X number of days for X percent of list to sale, right? So it's a very, very important script here. Then we're going to send them a little packet. It doesn't need to be a big packet. It can be your pre-listing presentation and some examples of some of your marketing materials, but it tells the story of why, or maybe it's proofing what it is that you had been telling them previously, right? So sending them materials. And then lastly, invite them to be on a video interview with you where they're answering some top questions, right? So maybe it's the top 3 things that you need to know when creating a trust, or the top 3 things you need to know about your real estate and your taxes. You follow what I'm saying? What we're doing here is we're providing a service to them. We're exposing them to a greater number of people. That drives business for them. And you are also establishing credibility with them so that they will see you as the expert, and again, you're going to be serving them. Now that they're in your CRM, make sure they're subscribed to your regular newsletters and your market updates, that kind of thing. All right, that's number 20. Number 21, neighborhood domination. Like, this is not geographic farming. I'm talking about domination. Folks, competition is strong, right? I mean, you've got people online talking about how they can sell real estate for less money, for faster. They're telling people that 93% of the buyers are searching there. They're telling little bits and pieces of the story, but nonetheless, they're siphoning off little bits and pieces of business. You have to be a dominant force. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how you would be absolute dominant in your neighborhood. I'm thinking slide aisle, I'm thinking mail, I'm thinking email, I'm thinking about texting and door knocking. Here's the thing, right? It's not just, let me send you a market update. Market updates are great, but they're not great alone. You're going to have to do coming soons. You're going to have to do just listed. You're going to have to do market updates. You're going to have to send the little CMAs with your little note saying, gosh, you're doing great in your property. You're going to have to send price change communications and open houses and testimonials and case studies and just solds. And I have a buyer letter, and then the goodbye letter, which I'm going to talk about here in just a little bit. So that's a really good one. All right, so that's 21. I'll be right back to wrap this up.